really wish I'd just stopped doing that typo. It's really fucking obnoxious.
It's really funny, you mean?
Yeah.
So,
Fuck
what
off.
are reading?
What is reading?
Hello, Michael, Vsauce here. What are reading? Hi, I'm Llytic.
I'm Tom.
And I'm a shitty English accent.
Oh, fuck off.
Well, we're back with more tales from the gas station.
Yes. Get ready for Zane paying no attention whatsoever.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
It would have been funnier if you would have said, what?
What? I don't
You've
get
already
that
ruined 2 jokes here. Anyway. Hi everybody, it's me, Jerry from the gas station at the edge of town. Proud to be the newest member of the team. The owners were so impressed with how I managed to stay inside the store for several days without leaving or going insane that they offered me a full-time position while the regular clerk is out recovering from his leg injury. Happy Monday, y'all.
Yay! He's got a better job now.
Well, at least the other guy's getting to rest a bit. Speaking of the other guy.
This is a different person from the usual guy.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The last we left the other guy, he was sitting with his laptop battery running low, bleeding out.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of the other guy asked me to do him a small favor while he's getting some much-needed rest and relaxation. He gave me the password to his laptop and detailed instructions to transcribe his journal entries from last week. In exchange, he agreed to keep me on as a full-time assistant after he gets back. I get to learn what to expect on the job through first-hand documentation, and if he gets to continue this his weird little blog thing. Now that's what I call a win-win.
I mean, this guy's gonna be dead in like 3 days. How much you want to bet?
Probably.
You're giving him a full 3 days.
Yeah, 3.
I'm an optimist. I'm gonna give him 3.
I'm giving him 3 hours.
All right. If I'm being honest, this is probably the best thing that could have happened to me right now. Ever since the program mysteriously dissolved at the mathematist community, I've been feeling very lost and vulnerable.
Is that
that's who Jerry is. Jerry's Marlboro.
Okay.
I was like, who the fuck is Jerry?
We all thought, he might be alive a little more than 3 days then.
Okay. I mean, they didn't want to kill themselves with him, so.
Yeah, he might just have an aversion to death. I've been losing weight and having trouble sleeping, and when I do, I keep having these weird dreams of some enormous being deep below the gas station waiting to devour us all. Clearly, a mistake was made and I was overlooked. If any of my old brothers and sisters are out there and see this post, please contact me. Tell the seniors they forgot me. I'm not mad. I miss you. I love you.
I don't feel the same way, brother.
I didn't know you were part of the mathematist community.
Anyway, before I get started, some guys in suits came by and suggested that if this vlog was going to continue, that I make a PSA. If there is anybody still alive that read the story about what happened here on Halloween, don't wait for symptoms to stop. Please go to the nearest emergency room or call the Center for Disease Control and tell them you're experiencing the effects of Ramold syndrome.
Anyway, back to the journals. I'm going to do my best.
You turn into a clown.
I'm going to do my best because the guy's handwriting is awful. But here's the parts I could read. November 7th, 2007.
Just fucking skip Zane, why don't you?
I wasn't going to skip him. I was just going to read the first paragraph for this next one. I mean...
It's not your paragraph.
That's kind of a date.
Okay, fine. It's fine, Zane. You can read.
Yay! I'm actually included! 11:07:07 7 p.m.
Son of a bitch!
What?
It's November, you...
Yeah, 11. It's the 11th month of the year. We all know this.
He's right.
But nobody says it that way.
Well, apparently Zane does, so somebody
I just did, yeah.
Way.
Well, Zane doesn't exist. We already covered this.
Oh.
Just cut out all my lines. Just pretend like I actually am still reading. Just cut out everything I say.
Don't push the mute button.
What was that? Push the mute button.
The man in the trench coat was standing out back when I went out to take the garbage tonight. I don't know why the man in the trench coat keeps visiting my store, or why I've
Fuck,
never
I just
gotten a
got
good look at
flood
him.
alert.
I've been getting like storms, so like if I just like randomly leave, that's why.
Yeah, there's a tornado warning in the area.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the sun in a couple of days.
Well,
Hey,
yes, but
bro,
you've
you're
also
getting
been
into my
inside.
kind of territory.
No, I work at Garden Center at Walmart, so I've been outside a little bit.
He was standing at the tree line just beyond the dumpsters, staring as he ever did tonight. I stared back.
The hinge of his jaw began halfway up his face, where his nose should have been, the edges pulled back to either ear in a skeletal grin. His tiny, milky white eyes were beads behind the oily black hairline that hung down straight in bangs all the way to his cheek jowl. His impossibly wide mouth bisected the head between greasy hair and wet flesh. Drool, I would assume.
We stood there, 15 feet apart, staring at one another for what might have been 10 seconds or 10 minutes until the man in the trench coat turned away. His legs bent funny, in a way that human legs shouldn't be able to bend, and he landed on all fours before galloping off into the woods.
Well, that seems normal.
Okay, wow, okay. I don't know if I've ever seen the last of the man in the trench coat.
Holy shit, do you guys read that? This is some crazy shit. Sorry, Jerry again. I promise I'm not going to do the running commentary thing, but we are. I just had to say, Jesus, you know, that is some weird stuff. I mean, I remember him telling me a couple weeks ago to go outside and talk to a man in a trench coat. Super glad I did it now. The hell. Okay, well, that's it. I'm done. Back to the transcriptions. The next page is soaked in blood and completely unreadable, so I'm going to have to skip that part. Seems normal.
Hundreds and hundreds of them. She had never seen so many in one place before, not even in her dreams. Before she left, she told me that I would see her again. Was that supposed to be a warning or a flirtation?
Flirtation.
It could be both.
Also, either of you hear the rain through my mic?
No.
Okay.
Hold on, are you far away enough that it's not raining over here?
It's raining here.
If it's raining, it's only drizzling over here, so ha. Anyways, I hope your house doesn't get hit by a storm, and I hope I'm certainly not jinxing it. Haha, 3:23 a.m. It's a quieter night than I am used to. The package from yesterday afternoon still sits on the counter where I left it. The label is made out to me, with a return address I don't recognize. The rectangular parcel is wrapped like a Christmas present with red and yellow stripes that feels heavy. I would say it's just the right size for a dead cat.
I tend to get those kinds of presents for some reason.
I'm sad now.
Yeah. Cats are supposed to give you dead gifts, not be the dead gift.
Yes,
Well, what if
exactly.
it was a larger cat giving you the gift?
A lion giving you a house cat as a gift.
It's just a really friendly mountain lion.
And then I mean, that would be cool, but I'd still be sad that I lost. Well, if it wasn't my house cat, I wouldn't be
never
as
said it was
sad.
your cat, just said it was a cat.
Yeah, who cares about those other cats?
I mean, I'd still be
Yeah, they're all
sad.
fucking assholes.
I'd still be sad, but life happens.
What if it was like how those cats that don't kill the gifts, they either, so you just have like a half-dead cat wailing and screaming in pain in front of you now, with a
Oh,
lion looking at
God.
you expectantly to kill it.
Well, then you had to kill it. It's only proper form.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of any realistic reason I shouldn't open the package, but there is something in the back of my mind telling me that to open this would be tantamount to opening Pandora's box. That the contents of this little parcel would be irrevocably.
Irrevocably, right?
How the
There we
fuck
go.
you say that?
There we go. Zane was right on that one.
Will irrevocably change the course of my life in a way that would have seemed impossible before. Fuck. I feel like this box is full of butterflies ready to create tsunamis. Seems normal. I'm just not sure if I'm ready for that yet.
I'm ready for the box to just contain a mini shovel, and that's just what he's been using to dig the hole out back.
It just contains more dead bodies of the guy that they've been accidentally killing.
I think I'm going to teach Marlboro how to clean the drink machines.
3:47 a.m. Marlboro passed out in the hammock in this. Marlboro is
Is
Marlborough is passed out in a hammock in the supply closet. I think he finished that bottle on his own. I guess I'll go clean the drink machines myself. By myself.
5:45 a.m. The hand plants are growing faster than I anticipated. They are now past the elbows, almost to the shoulders. I saw that the crop had caught a curious coyote that got too close. It was not pretty. I also noticed that Rocco is still alive. I caught him sitting on the roof tossing food to the crop of hand plants.
I just like Rocco more and more as we're going along. Like, seriously. This is why they're growing so fast. They're eating way too much. If this gets out of control, I may have to torch this crop just like the others. I don't want to. It sends shivers down my spine whenever I hear the way they scream.
Ugh.
Yeah, you do have to be careful when pruning your hand plants.
7:30 a.m. Carlos came in for his morning shift looking pretty terrible. He filled up on his coffee and told me that he hasn't been sleeping too well. The bad dreams had been keeping him from getting a restful night.
I wonder if I should tell Carlos about my condition.
He asked about the gift wrap package sitting on the counter. I told him that it came with the post yesterday and I didn't know who it was from. He asked if I was going to open it, and I told him that I had a bad feeling and pretty much decided to never open it. To never ever open it.
10 a.m. I decided to open the package without any fanfare or drumroll. I'll just tell you what I found inside was a brand new laptop computer.
Nice.
I never owned my own laptop before, and the only computer that ever belonged to me was a crappy little Tandy 1000 that I put together as a kid. I've always used the library computer lab or the browser on my phone to access the internet. This could be a game changer.
The box also contains a signal repeater and some other gizmos. I know this is crazy, but I think I may actually be able to access the internet from across the gas station now. From the gas station now. Fuck.
There was a handwritten note at the bottom of the package.
Hello.
I'll have to comment on your page. There's something I want to tell you. I'm enjoying reading these stories you're writing, but I think if you actually sit down and write out one story at a time, that you will get a lot more upvotes. It's very good, I'm not saying it's bad, but it right now seems like a lot of half stories thrown together. I think you do great if you actually write out a whole story at a time. I bet you could actually get a lot of upvotes and attention. It gets kind of confusing right now. Maybe start with when you got there and work your way up to now. I bet that would be super awesome. I'm so fascinated, but a little muddled as well. I could tell that you have a great talent for writing, but I just thought maybe I'd offer a suggestion to help. Please don't take offense. It's just something I was thinking. Hope all is going well for you.
Great. Another one of my readers tracked me down. I'm going to have to figure out how people keep finding me and put a stop to this. Thank you, whoever you are, for the laptop. I'm definitely keeping it.
10:15 a.m. I turned on the Wi-Fi card and noticed that for some reason there are dozens of secured networks around the gas station, most of which have 4 to 5 bars. The name for the networks are pure gobbledygook like this one. 1E7G7C7TA11 Guy 232331324. Who the hell is transmitting Wi-Fi out here?
It's the FBI.
Probably the security vans outside. Or maybe the Eldritch God underneath.
I really hope that the guy who's standing outside the Trenchcoat has his own Wi-Fi. That gets higher bars the closer he is to the gas station.
Like, it's not even he has anything on him. He just transmits Wi-Fi. 1:21 a.m. A man came into the store to buy a gas can a couple hours ago. I didn't think much of it at the time, but then he came back in asking if we could help him out with something down the road. I never got his name, but he was a big guy, tan skin and a thick beard. He said he was having car problems. I told him I wasn't a car guy, I was a guy. I am made of flesh, not metal. But he insisted that he didn't need a car guy, he just needed someone else to see what he was seeing.
Look at my baby pictures. Aren't my kids beautiful?
I mean, there's an entire dead deer in the grill of this car.
Yeah, but the baby pictures, man.
Okay, who
The
decided...
engine is full of baby hands.
Okay, who decided to fill up the gas tank with apple juice?
Okay, that's a lot less unusual than baby hands.
It's
I don't
apple
know.
juice. Why is it in a gas tank?
Well, probably so that the baby hands have something to float in.
Wait. baby heads attached to the tires and brakes. That's probably what the apple juice was for, and I guess they don't know how cars work.
Obviously.
Maybe the
Marlboro-
car was just hungry and thirsty.
Possibly. Marlboro agreed to watch the counter while Carlos and I followed the bearded man down the hill and around the curve, close to the spot where Carlos saw that thing in the woods.
He couldn't remember what happened that night. After we got everything sorted out with Spencer and things started to go back to normal, I asked Carlos what it was that he saw in the woods that sent him running in such a careless panic, but he just shook his head and said he didn't know. The mind is a funny thing, and memories aren't the most reliable. I realized that I'm not the only person from the gas station with a list of try and forget stories.
I think most people are like that, honestly.
Hmm.
The man's car was parked on the side of the road, close to the same spot that Kiefer's SUV was broken down.
So my car started acting funny, the guy said as we neared his vehicle. I began to wonder why we had walked this whole way when our own vehicle would be quite useful in case of a dead battery or random bear attack. The guy kept going. I pulled over onto the side of the road when my electricals all started going haywire. I killed the engine, then when I tried to turn it over, nada.
Well, that's why you shouldn't stop the engine with a knife.
Okay. You saying that made me lose my place. Hold on. God damn it. I could see at this point that the hood was open. The man was driving a big black SUV similar to the one Kiefer owned, but newer and shinier.
Kiefer had been stuffed in the gas tank.
Along with several baby hands covered in apple juice.
I don't see what's so weird about that. You need us to call a tow. The man cut call us off. Rudely, I might add.
I popped the hood, but everything was in order. I thought it maybe just needed some gas, so I went up to the station. Then when I got back, I saw this.
We ran to the front of the car and saw this. He was being very vague. So he was being so vague about a small oak tree, maybe 4 or 5 years old, was growing up from the ground beneath the car, through the engine, and stretched upward at least 9 feet. How did you not see it from the other side then? The trunk of the tree had swallowed a decent portion of the engine, and from the looks of the car had been parked there for years.
Interesting, I said. And you're sure this wasn't here when you started driving?
Before he could answer, he spun his head around and looked at the forest.
You boys hear that? He asked.
We stood still and listened, but I couldn't hear anything.
Oof.
No, I answered. Carlos shrugged.
You boys know what an anglerfish is? The bearded man asked as he walked to the back door and opened it.
Yeah, I guess, I answered.
The bearded man pulled a secret compartment from beneath the floorboard and retrieved a large automatic rifle. I'm not a gun guy, and I can't tell you what kind of gun it was, but it was big and impressive and cool looking. The guy checked the clip and clicked something on the gun that could have been the safety. Again, I'm not a gun guy, but it sounded super cool. Carlos put a hand on my shoulder and slowly backed away from the man with the gun, pulling me with him.
I mean, that seems like typical procedure.
Well, yeah, strange person just like asking about his car, pulls a gun out from said car that has a tree growing through it. Yeah, that's a little bit worrisome.
But the man didn't seem to mind us one bit. He was focused on whatever he heard in the woods.
If I'm right, you boys have an anglerfish in them woods. It's putting something out there to lure me in. Make me think I'm hearing something that I'm not. Then when I go looking for the one thing, bam, it attacks.
Clever girl. Oh, like a siren, I asked.
The man looked at me over his shoulder with a smirk and said, "Yeah, like a siren. Y'all may want to get out of here. This could get dangerous. Don't worry about me. I've dealt with these things before. I'll be fine."
The man pointed his gun and marched into the woods while Carlos and I made our way back to the gas station.
We never saw that guy again.
We did hear a lot of screaming coming from his direction, though.
2 p.m. It's time for me to go home. I haven't used the laptop yet, but maybe tomorrow I'll start to type up these journals.
11/08, 6 p.m. It's getting dark so early these days.
I noticed that the bearded man's SUV is still at the bottom of the hill with a tree growing through it. I wouldn't call that a good sign.
11 o'clock. I burned the rest of the hand plants. I finally know what's going on.
A long time ago, I noticed what looked like a strange mushroom growing in a patch near the dumpster behind the gas station. I didn't think much about them, except that it was strange that Rocco's brood wouldn't go near them.
When I took a closer look, I could have sworn that they looked just like babies' fingers poking out of the ground.
As the weather
So those weren't baby fingers in the engine, they were mushrooms.
They were hand plants.
As the weather got warmer, I kept an eye on the crops. They started getting longer and looking more and more distinguishably similar to human fingers. I swear they even started growing fingernails. Sometimes I would see them bend at the digits to squash a bug that wandered too close.
Or flip me off as I put the trash in the garbage can.
I mean, that seems appropriate. Most plants flip me off.
Eventually, the mushrooms started spreading leaves. Those aren't mushrooms then. And the finger sections continued to stretch out, creating what could only be described as hands, human hands. They would ball up into fists during the daytime and open up in the moonlight. I dug one of them up one day, and we were really slow. One day when we were really slow at work, and I called Farmer Junior to ask for his professional opinion.
To the untrained eye, the hand plant looked just like a regular human hand, similar to an adult's but larger than a child. Oh, smaller than an adult's but larger than a child. Adolescent, teenager maybe. At the wrist, it turned into a gnarled root that smelled like sassafras, and throughout the plant, tiny leaves were sprouting.
Farmer Jr. stood in the gas station, looking it over for a while before asking me if we had any more of those things. I lied and told him no.
I asked the owners what they wanted me to do. They thought it over for a couple of days and then told me to keep them. I think they expected to be able to make some money off of them somehow, but eventually everyone forgot they were there. Everyone but me. And Farmer Jr., of course.
I was thinking about the bearded man when I first heard the sound of a crying baby somewhere outside. I was alone in the store, and my first instinct was not the heroic one that most people may have had, to run outside and see where the poor baby was. My first instinct was more callous and rational in the form of a question. How the hell did a baby get way out here without me hearing it coming?
Well,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, he has a point there. Something wasn't right. The sound of the cries, which I could deduce were coming from the tree line, were getting louder and louder and more desperate.
Who leaves a baby at a gas station? I
Wait,
better
that's
not
not
check.
where you leave babies?
Of
No.
course not.
Shit.
I looked around for Marlboro, but couldn't find him anywhere. If I was going to investigate the potential forest baby, it was going to have to do it alone.
Fucking hell. I remembered the bearded man hearing the siren call of the thing he called an anglerfish. I remembered Carlos's sound of crunching and the strega. And absolutely no part of me believed I would be safe if I went into the woods, or that there was really a baby crying out there.
But what if?
I grabbed a flash. I grabbed a flashlight and went out back. The crying seemed to be moving deeper into the forest. Quickly, like the crying baby were being... Fuck! The crying seemed to be moving deeper into the forest. Quickly, like the crying baby were being carried off by something that didn't have to stop and move around trees or physical barriers. That's why I went back inside the gas station, because that's some spooky shit.
I walked into the forest just far enough to find the last thing I ever expected to find.
An actual baby.
Several babies. All fused together into one giant conglomerate baby.
At least it was actually a baby and not some weird plant monster or something.
No, it wasn't just a baby, it was several babies.
Yeah, who cares? It's still a baby.
And they all needed their nappy changed.
Yeah, I'm just leaving that baby in the forest then.
Wow, you're a terrible person.
It's just a fucking pool of shit around the baby.
Yeah, I'm not wading through that.
It seems that the hand plants had extended slightly further than the little patch outside the gas station. Those plants that I had been watching and burning whenever they got too aggressive were not as controlled as I had previously believed. Because out here, just a few steps into the woods, was a hand plant that I had missed, that I had never trimmed or culled or burned, that was left free to grow as large and wild as it possibly could. Out here was a hand plant that had grown so large it had fallen over. It had grown past the shoulder. It had grown its own head and torso and crotch and legs. Out here was a full human body covered in tiny leaves, huddled on the ground and attached to the soil by thick talons of brown roots. And the weirdest part of all, the body was one that I recognized.
The body, the fully grown hand plant, was Kiefer. Okay. Is that
Well,
how
that
he keeps coming
Fucking
back?
hell.
Well, that explains why he keeps coming back and why he's so easy to kill.
That would definitely explain a lot.
He's just a plant.
Plant man,
We are Groot.
I am Venom. I don't know what possessed me to touch him. Maybe it was his body talk. Maybe I just wanted to make sure he was real, as if touching him would prove that one way or another. When I did, his eyes opened and he cracked a smile. He did not move, the roots had him stuck firmly in place, but this Kiefer plant could talk, and talk he did.
We stayed out there talking for over an hour.
Fucking hell.
Some kids came in and stole half of our product. I won't go into everything the Kiefer plant said, but I will say this. There's something under the gas station. Something big and powerful. Something plotting. And I've been working for years in a cloud of this dark god's farts.
Wow,
That's
you
nice.
think you had a bad day at work?
Oh, fuck. I can tell you a good thing or two about a dark god's fault. Fuck. Farts. I had an extra terrible... I felt extra terrible setting the fully developed Kiefer plant on fire after I burned the rest of the crop of hand plants, but honestly, what choice did I have?
Poor Kiefer just can't get a break.
Nope.
What, you're telling me you wouldn't set him on fire?
I would keep only one Kiefer plant to keep making Kiefers, but I don't need an army of Kiefers running around right now.
But what if you had the army of Kiefers under your control?
They probably all die anyways, let's be real.
You
He's
are a
got
terrible
one.
eater.
Throw enough bodies at him, and eventually they'll get too tired and won't be able to fight. When I got back to the gas station, Spencer was waiting for me. He knew I knew, and I knew he knew I knew. I was halfway expecting what came next, but not expecting him to enjoy himself quite so much.
You're kidding me, right? This man tortured animals growing up.
Spencer locked the front doors, then proceeded to beat the crap out of me. I'd like to say I got a few good hits in as well, but that would be a huge lie. I don't even think I laid a finger on him, although I did mess with his knuckles up pretty good with my face, so I have that going for me.
Always look on the bright side of life. Spencer dragged me across the gas station to halfway past the bathrooms, past the walk-in cooler, and to the big strange door that I had only noticed just a couple of weeks ago. If it were possible for me to pass out, I'm sure I would be unconscious right now.
Why are you doing this? I asked as he banged on the door 3 times. There was a sound from the other side, and then Spencer yelled.
Open up! It's me!
The door cracked open, and Spencer dragged me into a room I had never seen before. It looked like an old office. There was a desk right next to a wall of monitors with security feeds from all over the store and the perimeter. Security feeds from cameras I never knew existed. In the middle of the room was a large hole that looked like it had been created with a team of jackhammers.
It's time for you to meet my boss, Spencer said as he dragged me to the edge of the hole. Sorry, I lost my place there for a sec.
Noticed.
Kiefer? I said, to which Spencer let out a hearty laugh.
No, not Kiefer. My boss put Kiefer out there and hired me to watch him. My boss is much bigger than some idiot politician.
I half expected Spencer to go into the cliche movie villain exposition rant, but instead he Sparta'd me right into this hole. Kick.
I think my leg is broken. At least, I assume that's what the bone poking out means. But hey, I'm no
typically.
doctor. I'd be really worried right now if it weren't for the fact that I stole Spencer's cell phone in the scuffle. Just as I expected, Spencer has the same network as Kiefer, which means he somehow has service. put in a call to Tom's direct number, so I'm sure he'll be along shortly. Until he gets here, I'm just passing the time updating my journals.
Somebody just dropped the laptop into this hole. Maybe it was Spencer? Maybe he thinks I'm dead. Maybe I am. Again, I'm not a doctor. Whoever it was, I think I might have heard the sound of boot spurs clicking against the tile as he walked away. Oh, fuck, it's the bathroom cowboy.
Yeah, best character in the story. I guess I'll boot this thing up, boot up, and start transcribing my journal before it's too late.
Okay, so this is the last of his journals.
You're probably wondering to yourself, where was Jerry while Spencer was beating the crap out of poor old Jack? Oh, so that's his name. Did we ever catch his name before?
No, I don't think we did.
Well, I had gone into town to see a movie. Yes, I went and watched Thor Ragnarok. Good on ya.
Ooh.
I had never... If you haven't seen it, go see it. Yes, do, please. You don't even have to watch the preceding Thor movies. Just watch that one.
Just close this video and go watch it right now.
Now. It was awesome. I guess I'm lucky I went when I did, otherwise this Spencer guy might have tossed me into that hole as well.
Well, he's not wrong.
Probably.
Yeah, Thor Ragnarok is awesome. I was the one that found Jack. When I came back to the gas station, I couldn't find anyone anywhere, so I went searching until I noticed that door at the edge of the hall cracked open slightly. I also found a really poorly made bomb behind the register, but it didn't take long to disassemble. You can thank the mandatory bomb building classes at the mathematics program for that. No big deal, just me being my typical heroic self.
Well, at least he's humble.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing to have.
Good skill set.
Yes.
I asked Carlos to help me haul Jack up out of the hall, and then Carlos moved him to an undisclosed location for a few days while his leg mended. When he gets back, I'll let him have his laptop to continue his little blog thing.
Until then, it's just me, Carlos, and the raccoons.
How does Jack usually end these things? Oh yeah, to be continued.
Edit. I just caught myself digging.
Alright, part 7. No, wait, parts.
Yep, part 7.
Yeah, part 7. And it be Zane starting this off.
Recovering from an injury sucks.
Recovering from an injury when you can't fall asleep sucks worse.
Well, did edit, I just caught myself digging. Did that count as a line?
Was that a line there? I don't think I saw that.
Well, it was at the end, but whatever.
Whoops.
Recovering from an injury when you can't fall asleep while simultaneously being hunted by a sociopathic lackey of a dark god with a personal vendetta against you sucks even worse.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's not wrong.
But what sucks even more worse is having to do all of the above and still being called into work because, as the owners put it, the new guy is a complete and total moron with a willful and malicious idiocy that borders on the criminal.
Well, he is a cultist, so...
And so here I am, against the doctor's advice at the shitty gas station at the edge of town, only a little worse for the wear. What's really incredible is that I've only been back for 1 day, and there's already about body count. More on that later.
Booty count.
Booty! Booty sighted.
My right leg is in a cast from ankle to thigh, and I've elected to use crutches because, unsurprisingly, the gas station is not wheelchair accessible. The cast has several signatures and messages, which is very strange because I have no memory of anyone signing it. But that could just be a result of the pain meds.
Looking down now, I can see that Carlos scrawled this message. Try and stay out of trouble. -C.
There's also a message in red crayon. Jerry was here.
Oh, Jerry. A few signatures scribbled in Sharpie, and a little further up my leg, I have to pull my pants way up to read it, this note. Capital R, lowercase t, capital R, capital A, lowercase t, capital C, exclamation point. Well, that's annoyingly cryptic. I would check the tape logs to see who I let get so close to my delicate area, but the owners had every camera in the place removed. I guess there was something about finding that secret room full of security camera feeds to bring personal privacy into the public discussion.
feel like the act of removing all the security cameras was a bit of an overreaction, especially with Spencer still out there. The police took a statement and confiscated the remains of the bomb. They're taking this whole thing very seriously, and an arrest warrant is out for Spencer Middleton, should he ever show up again. As for Kiefer, things get a little more interesting. The police weren't able to find any evidence that he ever even existed. He had no
Well, he
property
was a
to
plant.
He had no property to his name, no driver's license, no public record of any kind. The only thing even linking him to this town was a grainy picture of an old yearbook photo. It would seem that Kiefer was living off the grid ever since he graduated high school. And now that Spencer's attempts to blow up the gas station failed, Kiefer has suspended his election campaign and simply disappeared.
I want to see Kiefer's birth record.
Does he have one? Question mark.
I mean, you can grow them in your garden, so I'm not entirely sure. The sheriff has been sending a new deputy, Arnold. Hey, Arnold. To check on me once or twice a day. Arnold isn't from around here, which is probably why he agreed to replace Tom as the new gas station babysitter. He's about 6'2", dark-skinned, with a mustache thick enough to plant a yellow flamingo in. He has eyes that constantly telegraph the sentiment, knock that nonsense off, and I have yet to see him smile. I don't know if Arnold will become the next Tom or the next Spencer. Right now, he could go either way.
Arnold was the one that dropped me off at work today. I'm not supposed to get back behind a steering wheel for a while, which is fine, I guess. It's not like I'm going on any road trips anytime soon.
On the way to work, we passed the SUV of the man with the beard, the one staked and placed on the side of the road by the tree growing up through its engine. I asked Arnold about it, but he just shrugged it off and said I shouldn't worry myself with other people's business. I asked him about the owner of the vehicle, and Arnold said that they think he got lost in the woods, just like those hikers last fall. The search and rescue was underway, and he was confident that they would find him, one way or the other.
Well, that's dark.
After Arnold dropped me off, I went about my regular shift starting duties. I reconciled Marlboro's till, not all surprised to see that he was somehow 150 over, but all that the surplus was entirely in $1 coins.
Huh.
The fuck?
I logged all the invoices that had piled up while I was out, then I emptied the trash cans. I was hoping that I might run into the cowboy, but the only thing in the men's room was an obese Hispanic trucker punishing the toilet and surrounding air with an unholy fury that deserves its own scary story.
The sun was starting to go down when I hobbled out to the dumpster, bouncing garbage bags against my crutches and probably looking like a baby deer learning to walk. You know, the deer was drunk and two-legged and carrying several bags of garbage. The scorched earth near the dumpster was the same as I left it, blackened down to the subsoil. Somewhere just past the start of the trees was another patch of smoldered remains, one that I neglected to mention. One that I neglected to mention in the police report, one that might look to the casual observer like the remains of a human body.
But it was in fact a plant. Before I go to turn back in, before I turned to go back in, I realized something odd on the side of the dumpster. At first, I thought it was a child's toy stuck to that dirty outside wall, but then I realized that it was moving, breathing, crawling slowly and eating the gooey drippings off the rust of the dumpster. The thing looked like a giant tomato caterpillar, about 8 inches long, and as the sun went down, I swear that I saw the thing give off its own light source. The squishy caterpillar thing didn't seem to mind my presence, and even let me feed it an old Starburst I had in my pocket. A yellow, because like all people, I hate the yellow Starburst. Well, it's a good thing I'm not people, because I fucking love lemon.
I don't like Starburst.
I don't hate the yellow Starburst.
The critter bioluminesced a little brighter as it ate the taffy, and I gave it a gentle pet. Its hide wasn't as wet as it appeared. In fact, it seemed to be covered in tiny clear hairs.
You're not so bad, I said while it nibbled at the candy. Not everything out here needs to be scary, huh? It wiggled and crawled away to a place on the back of the dumpster with more gunk, and I went back into the gas station.
It's Kiefer's dick.
Why is his dick glowing?
I don't know. Why is he a plant?
Because he's Kiefer.
Well, maybe Kiefer has a glowing dick.
Why does he have a caterpillar
Marvel
for
has
a
taken up
dick?
smoking again. He'd quit for a while, but then explained that he was suffering that the suffering he was causing himself by not smoking grossly outweighed the suffering he was causing us through secondhand smoke. And mathematically speaking, it didn't make any sense for him to quit. I'd hoped that he was beginning to shed his cultist philosophy after the entire compound mysteriously vanished, but now I'm starting to fear that he can't be rehabilitated.
Oh well.
Today was a pretty normal, well, not normal, but average day at the gas station. We had some strange people visit. We had some normal people visit too. And along the way, I zoned out, finished a book I'd been reading, made some boring journal entries, and even got online to browse the internet for a while.
Also started digging a hole.
There's another package sitting under the counter, addressed to me from a return address I didn't recognize. I took a gamble with the last package and it turned out to be something great, but that was before Spencer tried to kill me, and once again my gut is telling me not to open it.
I got a phone call today at the store a few hours after sundown. It was pretty late, hard to say when exactly. Marlborough was asleep in his hammock in the dry storage room, and I couldn't remember the last customer. There was this was somewhere in that temporal wasteland before dusk and dawn. So night?
Hello?
Jack, listen carefully. You don't know me. What I'm about to tell you will save your life, but only if you follow my instructions to do exactly what I say. In the drawer to your right is a pencil and paper. Get them and write this down. These are the rules to your survival.
1. Do not leave the gas station. Do not go outside under any circumstances.
2. Do not drink the tap water. Don't even touch it. Don't smell it. Don't look at it. It's bottled water from here on out. Don't drink the water.
3. Don't trust your eyes.
4. Barricade.
Hang on. Where'd you say the pin was?
He sighed. In the drawer to the right.
My right or your right? I asked.
Your right. How the hell would it be my right? I'm on the phone.
Good Al.
Then I heard a car horn honk.
It was the old widow, Mrs. Sistrunk. She's another local, somewhere in the area of 100 years old, if I had to guess, and at this point, not much more than a skeleton wrapped in an ill-fitting skin suit with vibrant lipstick smeared all around the general mouth area. After her husband died, Mrs. Agatha Sistrunk had taken to buying and collecting sports cars, Nova-sized trucks, and racing them around the outskirts of town at all hours of the night. Good on you, Mrs. Sistrunk. Her most recent purchase was a brand new Ford F550 with a painting of the Hulk in all his green smashing glory along the side. Good on ya.
A Ford F550, that would be amazing. In person, she was a sweet old lady, no taller than 4.5 feet. She wore special shoes to reach the gas pedal and always came to this gas station to fill up because she knew I'd help her pump her gas, something she had never done before and wasn't interested in learning how to do.
1 sec, I said to the voice on the other end of the phone. Be right back. Miss Sistrunk needs me to top her off.
Listen to me, the voice growled. Do not go outside. You go outside and you're dead. Do you hear me?
I hear what you're saying, I said as I grabbed my crutches and got ready to leave, but I don't work for you. With that, I hung up the phone and went outside to help Mrs. Sistrunk.
Old Agatha was happy to see that I was back at work. Apparently, Marlborough made her nervous. She said he was flirting at her and wouldn't stop smoking while he pumped her gas. Before she left, she gave me a case of empty light beers and asked if I would be a lamb and toss these for her. I can't say no to Agatha.
Apparently, Marlborough's trying to get his pump on. When I got back to around back to Tulsa Trash, I noticed something incredible. The glowworm from this morning had formed itself into an enormous cocoon against the back of the dumpster. I can't explain why exactly, but this had filled me with some sort of, I don't know. What means the exact opposite of existential dread? Euphoria? Existential hope? Is this what optimism feels like?
Yes,
Don't ask me.
Yes, it is. It makes life easier. Again, I know it doesn't make any sense, but seeing the weird garbage-eating caterpillar thing begin the brave journey of transformation gave me this tingling feeling in my soul, like this was some kind of sign. Just when the caterpillar thought his world had come to an end, he became a butterfly.
Unfortunately, it was a pilgrim butterfly.
My world has felt like it was coming to an end for a while too, little buddy. Maybe I'm also on the verge of a metamorphosis. Maybe the world doesn't have to be strange and scary. Maybe it can be strange and cool. I decided that whatever hatched from the cocoon, be it butterfly or moth or monster, I was going to name it Starburst.
Then
Oh,
it turned out to be another Kiefer.
Starburst the pilgrim butterfly.
I hobbled myself back to the gas station and tossed one last look over my shoulder at the dumpsters to see one of the raccoons was stuffing the cocoon into its mouth. It devoured the
Oh.
whole thing in a couple bites before making eye contact with me and dashing off into the woods.
Yeah, for fuck's sake. Carlos came into the store for his late shift and asked how I was feeling. I told him that the pain was tolerable. He nodded like that was the kind of answer he was looking for, and I went back to reading my book.
a few minutes later, the man with the beard came into the gas station. I almost didn't recognize him as the same man that went off into the woods after the creature he called an anglerfish. He had lost a lot of weight, his beard wasn't nearly as well kept, and he smelled like he bathed in a tub of pee that someone farted in.
Hey! Hey! I said as he came in. You're still alive! Cool.
Did I mention that the man was holding a pistol when he walked in? The thought crossed my mind for the briefest moment that I wonder what happened to his big gun. I didn't have time to ask. He quickly found the locks of the doors, used them, and then covered the short distance to my register, gun extended and aimed at my face.
I told you not to go outside. You're lucky you're even alive, he screamed before grabbing the store phone.
That was
and yanking-
such a screaming volume.
Do you really want us to scream it to the mic? I could scream it to the mic if you really want.
I'm just laughing that he said he screamed, and you're just saying that very calmly.
Well, I didn't know that it said he screamed until I read it, so...
I mean, there's exclamation marks. It does hint that there is some sort of volume there.
Well, I mean, you can also be forceful without having a lot of volume and use exclamation points, so...
But you weren't doing that.
Well, no, but I'm tired and I don't feel like being forceful. Also, I think people can hear, like, through the thin walls of this house, and I don't want to disturb the neighbors. Before grabbing the store phone and yanking it out of the wall, he threw it to the ground with a loud, satisfying smash, and asked, "Who else is in this building?"
Well, let me see. I said, thinking, there's you, me, and probably the other cashier unless he went into town again.
I saw one other car out there. Toyota? That yours?
No, that's got to be Carlos.
Right on cue, Carlos walked out from the back and froze at the sight of the bearded man still pointing a gun at my face. Carlos got shot. Carlos might have been tempted to take
Fucking hell.
action if he had been carrying a 50-pound bag of corn over his shoulder.
That's the
So he
perfect
just
time
raised
to
his
take
free
action.
hand and said softly, "Hey man, we don't want no trouble. If you're after the cash, go ahead and take it. Ain't no heroes here."
Brain him with the bag of corn.
Yes, brain in with bag of corn. Makes
Brain
total
him
sense.
with the bag of corn.
Brain him?
Brain him.
Brain him.
Beat
How
him
do you-
over the head.
Is that really called braining?
Yes.
Wait, who beat who over the head?
Carlos. I'm saying for Carlos to beat the man over the back of the head with the bag of corn.
That thing's 50 pounds. That's not going over his shoulder without some great effort.
You telling me you can't sling a 50-pound bag of corn?
He's
A
not
50 bag
just...
pound of corn?
If it's
A
like
50
right
bag
behind...
pound of corn.
I can do it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like I'm swinging a batter at. No. This is like holding onto 3 fucking hammers and then trying like big like warhammer things, just trying to do it over your head. It's not
Pathetic.
going to work out as easy as you think.
Or maybe you're just pathetic. I can do a good deal of damage with a 50-pound bag of things. oh, Jesus. He straight up laughed.
Hmm.
Well then.
Interesting. Right.
Well.
Is it my turn to read then?
No, he just read, so it'd be my turn.
Okay.
The bearded man laughed in an obnoxious way and said, "Well, there's at least one. My name is Benjamin, and I'm here to save your sorry asses."
Carlos and I made eye contact. A lot can be conveyed in just an instant if you know the person you're looking at. He was trying to see what I wanted to do. I was trying to tell him to relax. This was neither the worst nor the weirdest thing to happen in that room.
Just a sec, I just sent him a message. Okay. What the fuck was that? Oh, happened in that room. Okay, I said. What do you need us to do, Benjamin?
There's something evil under this gas station, and nobody is leaving here until I understand what it is. Because I know that someone is working with that thing. I've seen it in my dreams. I know you have too.
Well.
Fuck. I kicked my Ethernet cable out of the socket.
I thought you were having like problems with the storm or something because you said it was raining earlier. But
At first, I thought it was just that you were upset, and then I saw that it said that you weren't connected to the connected to Discord at all.
Yeah, I kind of. It's just my foot can actually like kick at just the perfect angle to like fuck with my PC sometimes, so I have to be very careful.
Yeah, sounds like.
Okay, fuck.
I don't even have to kick. I don't have to kick hard. It's just one accidental push and everything gets fucked up here.
All right.
Fuck, what was just read?
Okay, so there's something evil under this gas station, and nobody's leaving here until I understand what it is. Because I know that someone is working with that thing. I've seen it in my dreams. I know you have too.
I'm actually lost now too. Hold on.
All right. Well, he was wrong.
Did y'all just like read when I was gone?
Yes.
I thought you were having trouble, and we were just gonna kind of continue on until you came back. Because sometimes you'll just joke and log out, then log back in, and it was like
I didn't actually come back this time.
Yeah, you were gone for a lot longer, so I wasn't sure what to do.
Because I will admit, I was just kind of, I kicked it kicked me out, and I'm just like, God damn it. And I went to use the bathroom for a bit and come back.
Okay.
Alright then. Well, he was wrong about one thing.
Right then, Marlborough walked out of the dry storage closet, stretching and yawning. Benjamin snapped him into a chokehold. Jesus Christ. Before he knew what was going on and jammed the gun against his head.
Are you listening to me? Benjamin screamed. I just told you that the world as you know it is just a facade. There's a devil here, and one of you is working for it. That better?
Meh.
Yeah, I tried a little bit.
Sounded kind of like you were forcing it.
He is.
I'm not actually shouting, so.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
that
like
was obvious.
trying to get him into like, He looked at both of us for some kind of reaction. But I don't think he got the one he was looking for.
I just shrugged and said, neat.
Neat.
Wait.
Right then.
Neat.
Right then, Marlborough surprised the pants off of everybody by half yelling, half laughing. Let's do this. I'm not afraid to die. Before reaching up, grabbing the gun pressed against his head and pulling the trigger.
Bet! You think you can kill me? Not today! Bang!
You can't
The
kill
real
me.
Jerry would never pass up the opportunity to die.
I've seen a lot of weird stuff at the shitty gas station. I've been nearly killed once or twice. I've watched the same guy die over and over in front of me. I've seen things that may or not be real because I can't dream, and sometimes I wonder if my mind is making up for that in other ways. I've seen ball of lightning, people with blue skin, a man with two heads, a talking dog, and an Elvis impersonator that may have been a little too convincing. I've seen so much weird stuff in that room, but it was the first time I ever saw a look of surprise like that on anybody's face, and it was absolutely priceless.
Wait, what the hell is wrong with you people? Benjamin said, backing away from us.
Ain't nothing wrong with us, said Marlborough, relieved to be free from the headlock. What the hell is wrong with your gun?
How did you know How did you know I was out of ammo?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
There was a loud thud as Carlos dropped the sack of corn. He was the next to talk. I think maybe you should get out of here, pal, while you still can.
Afraid I can't do that, Benjamin responded. Not until this thing is dead, and not until I.
We heard a wet thunk before I heard a wet thunk before I saw anything. Before Benjamin went limp and hit the ground. When my eyes caught up to the situation, I hoped that what I was seeing was a hallucination. But the look of fear on Carlos's face told me that this wasn't the case. The man standing behind Benjamin, holding a bloodied shovel, was the man that just saved our bacon, was smiling a toothy delighted smile that he only ever made after inflicting pain on after inflicting the kind of pain he just inflicted.
Hey, Jack, said Spencer Middleton. You miss me?
Carnage, what are you doing here?
He stuck Carlos and Marlboro in the walk-in freezer. Marlboro is and always has been a go-with-the-flow kind of guy, so he went into the freezer voluntarily. Carlos put up a fight, which is why he ended up bruised and bloody and barely clinging to consciousness.
From what I could...
Spencer just like super strong or something? He's just fucking on everyone?
Well, he's got a dark god on his side, so he's probably got some sort of supernatural abilities.
I mean, that tends to happen when you get the blessing of the dark god.
Or he's just a really good fighter. I mean, that's also a possibility.
We're all talking about someone who's a serial killer.
Yeah, that too.
Just have Jack hand them Carlos and Marlboro his crutches and just let them go to town on him.
Well, you really think that Carlos is going to put up Marlboro is going to put up a fight?
I don't know. Maybe just lie and say you know where the rest of the mathematicists went. All you got to do is
the man just voluntarily tried to blow his brains out. You really think he cares too much about actually helping?
Oh my gosh! I could just picture like at a robbery. All right, everyone, put your hands up. Carl just puts his hands on the mouth of the gun. Like he puts his mouth on the barrel of the gun.
Go ahead, pull the trigger.
Fucking hell, mate! What's wrong with you? Stop that! You're freaking me out. From what I could see, Benjamin looked like he might be dead. At best, he was out cold in a slowly spreading pool of his own blood.
Spencer pulled a couple of chairs out of storage and placed them both in front of the cash register facing one another. He made me hobble over and sit down in one. Then he spun the other around to sit on it backwards, like a cool school teacher from the 90s.
I just want you to know, he said, I'm not mad at you, and neither is he. He wanted me to relay that message.
Oh, fuck. Spencer's face still had specks of blood on it from when he beat the shit out of Carlos.
Your boss, I said.
Yeah, he was upset at you for what you did to Kiefer and wanted me to show you what happens to bad children. You were supposed to meet him, but then that got all chucked up, huh? Or cocked up, huh?
Oh, fuck. Oh. Headphones are going tits up.
What?
Ugh. Oh, fucking hell.
We can still hear you. Can you hear us?
Fuck.
Can we talk about how, like, bad
Alright,
this
so I'm just
accent-
gonna have to be holding this against my ear like some sort of radio DJ.
So can you hear us now?
No, well, yeah, I can hear you. It's just
No,
the
I
fact
can't.
that the headband part just fucking...
Ah, okay.
The speaker fell out the socket.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I guess it just wasn't my time to die, I answered.
That's when the smile faded from Spencer's face. He shook his head at me and said, Die, no. No. You weren't supposed to die. You can't die. We need you.
I saw... Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Step off my turf, mate. You want to go a fucking round, huh?
Fuck
I
you
saw
up,
some
mate.
movement behind Spencer, but tried not to break eye contact. It was Benjamin. He was alive, and right now, my best shot at getting out of this. He was alive, and right now, my best shot at getting out of this. He was moving slowly on the ground, regaining consciousness, but miraculously not making any noise. Tried to keep Spencer distracted.
Your boss. Tell me more about him. How did he find you? Who is he?
Spencer chuckled. Oh, he's got a lot of names, but you'll meet him soon enough. And this time, we will not be interrupted.
And my friends?
Yeah, fuck. I don't care. They can join us. I don't care. They can join us. They can die. It makes me no difference. By the way, Jack, I wanted to ask, did you guys ever figure out who placed that bomb?
I laughed softly. Yeah, the police took it. They know it was you. They know everything. Well, almost everything. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, they know very little, but they do know that you tried to kill me and you put a bomb in the gas station.
Spencer shook his head again.
Wrong on both counts. If I wanted you dead, you'd be dead. And a bomb, seriously, not my style.
I think he had more to say to me, but I'll never know because right then Benjamin yanked his head back and wiped a knife blade the size of a large chihuahua across his neck, neatly slicing his head halfway off. You get him, Ben!
Fuck, I want to know where this was going.
Oh well. Blood erupted out in a couple spurts, then stopped, and Spencer Middleton was no more.
That's what you get! Taunted Benjamin as he flung Spencer's lifeless body across onto the floor, his blood pouring out and mixing with all the rest. It was going to suck for whoever had to clean this up. Probably me.
When we opened the freezer, we found that Marlboro had gone all bad nurse on Carlos, sticking clumps of frozen meat all over his face. For the swelling.
But that's not how you fix that.
No.
We made a fresh pot of coffee and we took seats around the table by the window. Just in case a nosy passerby decided to pass by, we put a tarp over Spencer and moved the wet floor sign next to it. That wet floor looks an awful lot like a dead body. No, it's just the floor.
That seems appropriate. For about half an hour, we all just sat and drank coffee with a pregnant silence. When we were all done with our third cup, Carlos finally spoke. His jaw was swollen to hell, but he was still able to pronounce his words with only minor difficulty.
So, why haven't we called the cops yet? This was clearly self-defense. I've got the face to prove it.
Yeah, said Benjamin after a lengthy deliberation. Yeah, let's call them. That would be good. But tomorrow you and me need to have a serious talk, Jack.
I called Arnold from the only phone in the building with any reception, Spencer's phone. The deputy listened to what I told him, just the most basic and simplified version of what happened that night. And he said he would be on his way right away. Right after, he got out of bed and put his clothes on.
I called the owners next, and they were not very happy. They told me next time I should call them first.
Next time?
Fuck. Right now, the others are still at their booth, staring out the window. I'm sitting on my laptop documenting the night while the memories are still fresh. I know this isn't over yet. I think the gas station is going to have to close for a day or two. But when it opens again, I'll be here, writing my journal and doing my best to ignore anyone who walks through these doors.
I guess that means this is to be continued.
Right, I'm going to mute myself to try to fix myself, while I try to fix this. So I guess, carry on without me.
Alright.
Alright, so whose turn would it be then?
Yours, I just read.
Alright. I just gotta say, though, gotta fix his voice, man. Something's really fucky with it right now.
Yeah.
It's shit, yeah, that's all we gotta say. Anyways,
Yeah.
I don't know what Arnold's personal grooming routine looks like, and I have to assume he spent at least 20 minutes a day in mustache prep. But even factoring that in, he should have made it to the gas station by now.
I called him a few minutes ago to make sure he hadn't gone back to bed and to make sure I hadn't imagined the phone call. The conversation went something like this.
Yeah.
Hey Arnold, you on your way?
Sit tight, we had a little emergency.
Okay.
The road between town and you is blocked off.
Okay, which one?
All of them, even the service roads. It must have been a freak storm. I've never seen anything like it. All the roads are covered in trees, but they aren't, fallen. Trees are growing in the middle of the street. I've been trying to find a way around all morning, but I've given up. I'm about to head through on foot. Just to be clear, you said you heard from Spencer Milton last night. Has he made any other contact?
Well, actually, he's here. He came in and some stuff happened, and now he's dead.
What? You telling me there's a dead body at the gas station?
I already told him all of this. Man, I really miss Tom.
Did you not realize that?
I'm sorry, he answered. When the phone rang earlier, I had just woken up from this beautiful weird dream of a dark God calling me into his eternal grace, taking me by the hand and guiding me into blessed oblivion, freeing me from all the pain and suffering of this mortal prison, nurturing me like a child and inviting the world into a realm of higher existence, allowing me the privilege to devote myself to his glorious servitude.
Okay. Guess I'll see you when you get here. I hope he doesn't get here.
I mean, how else would you, react to that?
All right.
Okay then. I ended the call and checked the charge on the phone. The battery was sitting close to 50%.
What's the deal, Lucille? Asked Benjamin.
Oh God, it's my dad. Arnold is on his way here on foot, but we might have another problem.
Holy shit, you guys see that? Carlos asked, pointing out the window. Couldn't quite make it out from where I was seated, behind the counter, and I didn't feel like hobbling over a corpse just to have a look.
What is it? I asked.
There's a bunch of naked people out on the road walking this way. Carlos answered.
The hell you say? Said Marlborough, who had suddenly taken interest. He pressed his face against the window for a better look. Those aren't just any people. I know them. That's Marla and Tyler. And there goes Fred. At least those were the names I gave them.
Are these the mathematist?
We'll see. We'll see. Keep reading.
Benjamin crossed to the frozen drink machine, throwing over his shoulder a quick, "They're friends of yours?"
Family, actually. Well, they were anyway before they disappeared. But I don't remember them looking like that.
Like what? I asked, starting to get an uneasy feeling.
He took a second to find the words, but all he came up with was, they looked funny.
They continued walking closer to the gas station, close enough by now that I could see them. At least a dozen people, stark naked. The closer they got, the more details I could make out, the more I wish I couldn't. Their eyes were milky and pale, maggots crawling out of festid crevices all over their bodies, their skin dirty and covered in lesions and bruises. My boy was certainly not wrong. They looked funny.
I'm sure you know the Hollywood-style zombie walk. The shuffle of an undead body with impaired motor skills. The scariest part of these people approaching the front doors of the gas station was that they were walking 100% perfectly normal. Just a bunch of decaying nudists out for a stroll. Well, take that out of context.
There's the loud crash that snapped us out of the probably rude staring. We all turned to see Benjamin had pulled the frozen drink machine to the ground and was attempting to drag it over Spencer towards the front door. The sticky syrup concoction spilled out all over the ground, mixing with the congealed blood and coating the floor in a red, brown, and purple vicious soup. There's no way we wouldn't have an insect problem after this. That's what you're worried about right now? The maggots from the nudists getting everywhere?
I mean, I would assume so. They're gonna survive. Let's be honest. With Bathroom Cowboy watching over them. Oh shit, Bathroom Cowboy's not there right now. Oh no, he might actually be in trouble.
Oh, come on, Bathroom Cowboy. Why you gotta be like this?
No, it'll be a Lone Ranger thing. He'll come back and save everyone at the end.
I really hope he does.
I hope so too, but I kind of hope it does. I want to see what happens. Marlborough and Carlos didn't have to ask what was going on. They instantly knew the plan and began yanking down whatever fixtures weren't bolted in place and piling them up in a barricade against the glass doors.
Would have helped if it weren't for this broken leg. Besides, it looks like they've got this under control.
Yeah, the leg's why I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading. You boys think you can stay alive long enough to help for help to arrive? Benjamin asked.
We've got almost 90 years of experience staying alive between the three of us, Carlos joked.
Benjamin directed his next question to me. You got any weapons in this place?
I told him no. The only thing I have is a half-empty canister of gasoline in the supply closet and some really hard jerky, but he was welcome to whatever he could find. That's when he started MacGyvering some spears out of chair legs and broken glass from the drink case. Okay.
Nice. I mean, hey, may as well in that situation. About 10 minutes ago, the gas station lost power. Now really would be a great time to have the giant pet glow-in-the-dark butterfly.
Ugh, stupid raccoons.
It's been pretty quiet, save for the wet guttural whispering coming from those people outside. Benjamin is still searching for weapons while Carlos finds things to push against the front door, and, assuming he hasn't fallen asleep, Marlboro has taken the back door.
Alright, so what I miss?
A lot.
A lot.
Fucking hell.
The mathematists are back.
Oh, you're lovely.
They're
But
dead.
they're all nudist,
maybe.
and they're all covered in maggots.
Oh. Doubly lovely. Doubly. Not doubly.
I was feeling
Also,
pretty
every single road to the gas station is covered in trees.
live trees, like they grew out of the ground.
Oh. Well.
And the new cop guy had a dream about an elder god that's going to take him away from this mortal coil to love him forever to take away the pain.
Well, I mean, who wouldn't want to be an elder god?
Me.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's because you're weak.
Eh.
What? Wouldn't the people who are weak would be more into being protected by the elder god?
Well, not being
You
protected.
just don't understand it
Boning.
really because you just didn't have the dream.
Probably.
Yeah, you just don't get it. You weren't here, man.
I guess I'd have to have the dream before I could actually give you a true answer on that. But
Yeah, I want to be interviewed by my dark gods before I give them my loving embrace and time. I want to sit them down and be like, "What can you give me, sir?"
what
You
what
just
what
kind of
health,
scream at me in a language I don't understand.
You
What?
set up like SO fucking applications beforehand.
what health benefits come from serving you? Do I have to sacrifice people to gain immortality, or is that just kind of one of the perks that without sacrificing people? Okay, I'll take that
I
into
see, I
consideration.
see. Thank you. Next.
Okay, but what about dental? Okay, sounds like I'm kind of on my own for that then. That okay, well we'll see on that one. Anyway, I was feeling pretty useless after Benjamin confiscated my crutches, so I figured I would take this opportunity to type up the account of what happened, just in case Arnold gets here too late. And in the spirit of preparedness, I should say a few things to whoever finds this message, or is it whomever? I could never get that. I never could get that right.
It's whomstever.
Okay. Zane.
First to the owners. I'm sorry about the mess.
Second to her. Who is her?
I don't know.
Alright. I'm sorry we didn't run into each other one last time.
Third, to whomever keeps dumping tar into the ditch outside of the gas station. I hate you.
There's a whole fucking symbiote growing out of the dumpster.
Yes, that's all I have to say. It's been a weird, crazy ride. This is Jack from the gas station signing off one last time.
I didn't die!
Sorry, it's been so long since the last update. I just got my laptop back from the police. Special thanks to whoever gilded me, by the way. I don't know what to do with Reddit Gold, but it brings warmth to my soul.
I know you guys are probably wondering what happened. Well, last week I met a dark god. Okay.
As you do. We were in that gas station without power for hours. It's cold this time of year, so we huddled together around a plate of scented candles and ate pork rinds and canned beans. Marlboro almost dozed off a couple times before Carlos decided to loot the energy pills behind the counter. He handed them out and we all took a few, washing them down with cold coffee and telling ourselves it was for alertness. But all they did for me was create a heartbeat arrhythmia. Well, that's unfortunate. That sure would be funny if those things finally broke in here just to find the four of us dead from heart attacks.
That would be funny, actually.
Just a bit.
Well, not funny, but you know.
Obviously.
Carlos
Yeah.
tried to strike up conversations with Benjamin a couple of times, but the beard man wasn't very social.
You army?
Nah.
I knew a guy, he was a ranger in the army. You remind me of him.
Alright.
Those things up there, any idea what we're dealing with? You ever seen anything like that before?
Nah.
You got family?
Nah.
I checked Spencer's phone throughout the day, but I wasn't getting any service anymore. I tried 911 a few times, but even that wouldn't go through. When the battery got to 5%, I turned it off. We might need it later for an emergency call.
Just realized that I had the cover on the entire time. Also, I no longer see the thing telling me how much battery I have left. Well, I hope that's not an issue.
Well, we'll see. If the recording crashes, well.
If I suddenly disappear, again. Eventually, the adrenaline and the pills started to wear off, and I remembered that my leg was still healing from a complex fracture, and maybe I shouldn't have agreed to come back to work so soon. I did the cripple walk back to the front desk to grab my meds. While I was there, I spotted the still unopened gift wrap package on the shelf beneath the register. I decided to open it and decided to ignore it. Fuck. And instead grabbed the employee whiskey bottle that was behind it. Every good workplace has an employee whiskey bottle.
I haven't found mine yet.
Well, that's because you work at a terrible place.
Yeah,
We
probably.
told ourselves it was for our own nerves, but all it did for me was give me an even worse heartbeat arrhythmia.
A few more hours passed. After we killed the first bottle, we opened another. Then Marlboro got into the energy drinks because we needed mixers. At some point, the former cultist pulled out his stash and lit a joint and, without asking, I might add, turned the whole station into a hot box.
Nice.
I couldn't remember if I'd taken my pain meds yet, so I went ahead and took them.
Oh my god. Weed, alcohol, energy drinks, pain meds.
As the sun started to set, I had two thoughts competing for the first place in my mind. First, it sure was getting dark early these days. Second, I think we might be getting a little too fucked up to handle what's about to happen.
What, you're telling me you don't get high off your dick in a crisis?
No.
Really? Not when there's naked people outside.
But then that's the perfect time to do that.
I don't want to end up getting the thought in my head that it'd be cool to go and streak with them. I don't need that kind of encouragement.
Are you kidding me? Streaking with zombies sounds fucking amazing.
They're not even really zombies. They're just normal dead people. They're walking normally.
Normal dead people.
Yeah, they're not doing like he even specifically mentioned they're not doing the Hollywood shuffle zombie walk. No, they're walking normally.
Sorry, it's just the line normal dead people that just makes me imagine a bunch of dead bodies just laying on the ground outside.
Yeah, does that not happen where you live?
Well, yes, but that's not because of any supernatural. Well, not usually. They're all zombies that roam the daylight. Anyway. Time became even more illusory than normal once the laptop died, and we had no way of knowing how long we'd been waiting. We started measuring the time in candles. Our snack food and morale raced each other to depletion.
At some point, Carlos got me away from the others to ask what I thought about Benjamin. I told him he was the nicest guy that had pointed a gun in my face all week, but Carlos told me that he had a weird feeling about him. I reminded Carlos that he had killed Kiefer a couple times and get off his high horse.
Hey! Benjamin yelled at us. Wow. I could hear that echo. Oh my. See, this is why we don't yell.
Well, you're just in a room with terrible acoustics.
And? This is why we shouldn't yell. That doesn't change the fact we shouldn't yell.
I'm pretty sure we should yell.
Alright, if that's what you want.
Oh, shit.
Benjamin yelled us from across the room. What are you talking about? Is that what you wanted? Is that what you wanted? Huh?
I never asked you to mouth fuck the mic.
Well, I yelled.
I'm pretty sure you did. Just saying.
I never asked him to deep throat the fucking mic.
Well, no, but it was implied.
You asked me to yell.
Those are two different things.
Are they though?
Yes.
Did it increase my volume? Because if it
Sticking the
increased my
mic
volume,
down your
yeah,
throat
yelling.
is completely different than yelling.
Well,
Are
yeah, I
you
didn't put it down my
sure
throat.
about
If I put my mic down my throat, then I'd barf. Stupid.
Well, sounds like someone has a weak gag reflex.
Yeah, because I don't go around shoving things down my throat.
I'd rather you not kink shame me in my own house.
I never said anything
Anime!
about
I
this kink.
lied. I think he bought it.
Get back over here. I don't need any more dead bodies piling up tonight.
I think we all need more dead bodies.
Benjamin was in a corner, warming his hands over the candle plate. Hold on. Sorry. He was the only source of light in the building, and was casting shadows that could maybe be described as spooky if it weren't in a such serious life or death situation. Some of the shadows looked like faces, smiling, laughing at us idiots. One or two looked like old presidents. One of them asked me what time it was, and holy crap, I was tripping.
I'm too high for this shit. You okay, man? Carlos.
The hell was that?
Carlos asked, snapping me back to reality.
I honestly have no idea.
Did you ever figure out who placed that bomb? Asked Spencer Middleton in a gurgle.
What do you mean? I thought you did it.
Not me. Bombs aren't my style. Who do you know that can build a bomb?
Hey, where's Marlboro? What? Fuck. Whoops! Kind of forgot that last part.
Oh, fuck. Benjamin picked up a spear, formerly my crutch that he had paracorded his knife to, and asked, "Who the hell is Marlboro? Is there someone else here?"
Marlboro, the other employee. I looked at Carlos, who just shrugged and said, I don't know no Marlboro. How many of them pills did you take?
Had I imagined Marlboro this entire time? Did I just Tyler Durden this guy into existence? I tried to sit down on the tarp, but it turned into me laying on my back while the room spun. I could feel the human debris squish beneath the tarp fabric as I rested my head. How much of any of this was real anyway?
You're losing it, you know.
I know.
All those years ago, the first doctor tried to prepare me for life with my condition. There weren't many other cases before me, so they didn't know exactly how everything would play out, but every case had a few of the same side effects. Of course, there would be weight loss, fatigue, headaches, all the signs of a normal physical illness.
Fatigue!
Yeah,
That was a bit delayed.
Yeah. Fat. It looks
took
like
me a while to register what the fuck you said.
Fatigue.
Well.
Fatigue!
Fatigue.
What the fuck did they fatigue?
You know, all the letters are there for it to be fatigue.
I'm sorry, that's just one of the funniest mispronunciations I've had in a while.
All right.
Llytic, I believe it's your line.
Yes, I know it's my line. Sorry, just let me recover from that.
Wow, I almost made him laugh the accent out of him.
Fuck off.
Eh.
As the condition developed, there would be more interesting side effects. Hallucination, memory loss, the works.
And of course, I can't be properly anesthetized. Is that how you say that? Anyway, they tried in other cases to induce medical comas, but that just messed things up further. I'm always wide awake and halfway lucid during surgery. If you want to know what that's like, I'll tell you the truth. It's boring.
You know what? Usually when I hurt someone bad enough, they pass out from pain.
They gave me a couple years tops. I haven't been keeping track of time.
Right then, Marlboro walked into the room, zipping up his fly. Presumably he'd just come from the bathroom, but who really knows? I pointed at him and yelled, "That guy! You see him, right? It's Marlboro!"
Carlos looked where I was pointing, then back at me. What, you mean Jerry?
Oh, that's right. That he has a real name.
I hate it when he calls me Marlboro.
Benjamin set the improvised spear down and turned his attention back to the fire. You better get him under control.
You should open your package, said Spencer. You want me to just drop Trow right in front of everyone?
What?
I'm sorry, I was speaking basic English.
Hey, wait a sec. Aren't you supposed to be dead?
Well, aren't you supposed to be dead? He said back.
Touche, Spencer, touche.
Who are you talking to? Asked Carlos.
Spencer, I answered.
Well, stop that. It's freaking us out.
2 candles burned from start to finish before Benjamin decided that help wasn't on the way and our best chance of survival was to fight it out with the things outside. Of course. he's the crazy hiker dude in the woods.
I disagreed, but Benjamin informed me in his own polite way that it wasn't up for vote.
It mainly involved the word fuck. He peeled back the layers of the barricade just enough to get a view of the outside. Once we knew what we were dealing with, we could come up with a better game plan. Only he couldn't actually get a good look because there was something blocking the view. Something just on the other side of the glass doors.
Benjamin yanked the rest of the barricade down and took a few steps back to marvel at it.
Well, you don't see that every day, said Jerry.
Nope, I can't do it. Sorry, his name is Marlboro.
We were trapped there, inside the gas station. On the other side of the doors, a network of trees had grown together, twisted into knots, and pressed against the glass. They were so densely pressed into a single wall of tree trunks that not even light could get through. For all we knew, it could have been daytime outside.
We have to get out of here, said Benjamin.
We checked the back door, but it was the same thing. I often wondered how long a person could survive inside a gas station without any new supplies coming in. I had run the scenario in my head a million times. Fuck, that's a smidge off. On boring nights, what else was there to do? I had run through the thought experiment for countless different contexts. How long could I survive if the gas station were transported back in time to another planet, if there was a zombie apocalypse, etc., etc.?
That's a really good way to brainstorm if you're a writer and stuff like that. So
maybe he actually does write this at a gas station job.
Hey, it's possible. What I had deduced was that, under ideal circumstances, I could live off of the supplies on hand for 4 years if I could find a source of water. 6 weeks if not.
These were not ideal circumstances.
We had already smashed up, weaponized, or eaten almost all of our supplies. If we were trapped here, it wouldn't take long for us to all go Donner Party on each other.
While I was pondering this in the hallway by the cooler, we heard the sound of glass shattering from the main room. Benjamin raised his spear and led the way back.
The walls of the trees was still there on the other side of the doors. Our mess was still there. Everything was left. Everything was as we left it, with one exception. The tarp was pulled back, and Spencer's body was gone. Series of footprints coagulated in blood leading from where he should have been to the shattered glass on the front door, like he had just gotten up and walked over and was absorbed into the trees.
I need you boys to think real hard, Benjamin said. Is there any other way out of this place?
It's a gas station. You have enough ladders on hand to burn down the forest.
Do you?
Yes.
You're just gonna suffocate yourself.
That's also a good point.
Maybe,
well,
it depends.
Our only way out is on fire.
Yeah, but it'll all turn to ash and then you can walk out.
By that time, you'll have already died from smoke inhalation.
I guess so. It really depends. I need, is it legit? It's just straight wood up against the wall?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
With not even a single hole? Okay, yeah,
It said
that
you
might
can't
be a
see
better.
daylight out.
Well, yeah, that could just be the tree line above you is just really thick. In a rainforest.
I doubt that that's the case here.
Okay, whatever, man.
Going off the evidence provided.
Can I read my line, please? Well, Marlboro started. I shot him a look and shook my head, but I guess you couldn't see it in the dim candlelight. Or maybe he was just too dense to understand. There is that hole.
Hole? What hole?
The hole in the secret room. Fuck. Hole in the secret room back here past the cooler.
Secret room?
Yeah, right over there. Over here.
Marlborough pointed at the blank space on the wall where the door used to be. The owners had decided that the smartest thing they could do when they found out about the secret room was remove the door, build a good old-fashioned wall, and forget all about it. But that only works if everyone agrees to forget all about it, Marlborough.
You're telling me there's a secret room behind there, and a hole in that room that we can maybe fit inside and escape. Why didn't you boys tell me this earlier?
He didn't wait for an answer. Benjamin went straight to the wall and started smashing it to pieces with a spear. Then after he got it down a little, his bare hands. After a minute, the wall was again a door.
While Benjamin lit and placed a few candles around the giant hole in the floor, I grabbed Carlos and pulled him aside.
Hey, I said, I should tell you something. I opened that package, the one that looked like a present.
Yeah? He said.
Yeah, I said.
I'm not sure at what point I'd finally cracked and opened it, but I had been carrying around the content of the box in my pocket for at least one candle. Just like the last package, there is a note with this one. It read,
I didn't expect you to use my letter as part of the story, but thanks, lol. I didn't mind you using it. That was very neat. I liked it. I was very surprised. Thank you. I enjoyed your stories and I knew it could be really great from the beginning. That's why I wrote what I did. I was surprised, but in a good way, that you used my letter. Lol. Thank you. I'm honored. Really honored.
Well, that's a bit odd. Underneath that letter was a small handgun. Well, now we're in the money. I knew enough about pistols from playing video games to know how to check the clip, and sure enough, it was loaded.
I showed the gun to Carlos, who said, That's a Ruger 380. That's a nice gun.
Is that good?
Well, it's a gun, so it'd probably have more stopping power than a chair leg.
Yeah, better than nothing. And Ruger 380 is not a large gun, but heck, it's a gun, so...
Why don't you just give it to him? Carlos jested at our fearless leader.
I
don't know or trust him.
Yeah. I don't know or trust him.
Good point.
Here, I said, trying to hand it over. I'm not a gun guy.
No way, man. You keep it. I got both legs. You need it more than me.
Benjamin yelled to us from the secret room. Y'all ready or what? Time to see what's down here.
You still talking about anime?
Then he jumped in.
You darn kids and your darn Japanese cartoons.
And your waifus. I may have neglected to mention that it was a 10-foot drop to the cave floor below us. I also may have taken a little pleasure in the sound of him crash landing and the pain moan that followed. For the rest of us, we rolled up atop and put some knots into it like a poor man's rope ladder. And I have to give credit to tops. Those things are incredibly useful.
Oh, yes, they are. We had spent hours above ground in a room with a dead body, unrefrigerated food, Benjamin's body odor. We were all eating canned beans, and I think someone probably threw up in the garbage can. My point is this. We were all smelling pretty bad, to the point where I was doubting that I still had a sense of smell. But once we went into that hole, I knew for a fact that we hadn't. The smell down there made our gas station funk seem like cologne. The very worst putrid odors from the storm drains around the station were nothing compared to this. Is it possible for a smell to be heavy? Because that's the best word I can think of for it. Not thick, just heavy. Ugh.
What's that sound in the background for you?
For me?
Yes.
Oh, my sister came in and she's playing the keyboard. Is it picking up?
Yes.
Dang, my door's shut and everything. I don't know.
I can't really hear it. Like loud or?
No, I just hear it. Like it's quite noticeable behind his voice.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what else to do.
Carlos and Marble took turns barfing. When they were done, Benjamin handed out torches he made from gasoline-soaked rags and chair legs. I don't know what this guy deal is, but he sure is crafty.
He's
The
an
cave
Eagle
was.
Scout.
Too bad they didn't bring down the scented candles.
I don't think those would have done much down there.
Just put it up to your face and burn your nose off.
Just inhale.
Just inhale the scent.
The cave was a straight tunnel starting under the gas station and heading away from town. It was plenty tall enough for us to all stand comfortably, and there was a slight incline taking us downhill as we started further into that hole.
What the hell is this? Benjamin asked after about 20 feet. He waved his torch at the wall, and I saw that somebody had spray painted a message on the cave wall in red. It said in shaky handwriting, "Rita the raccoon ate the cocoon."
God damn it, Rita.
God damn it. I said it a few times in my head and was pissed off at just how close it came to rhyming, but didn't. Like a song slightly off key. The handwriting was eerily familiar, especially that capital R, but I couldn't remember why.
Oh, fuck, is that what the signature on his cast was?
That's
Rita
what-
Raccoon?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, fuck. There was another lawn gnome in the ground, on the ground beneath us.
Uh-oh.
No, miss!
We continued further into the cave, Benjamin way ahead of us, me bringing up the tail, hobbling along the best I could with just a single crutch. The deeper we went, the narrower the cave, the stronger the smell. Nothing about being down here away from the gas station felt like an improvement from our previous situation. But it wasn't until we made it to the tree that I really decided that we had messed up.
I don't know how long we'd been walking down here. Maybe a half a mile or so? Church miles feel a lot longer
Crutch.
than normal miles. Crutch miles feel a lot longer than normal miles. But we eventually came up to an enormous black tree taking up the width of the cave. It looked like one of those 1,000-year-old sequitos. Big enough to put it
Sequoias!
right through.
Fucking hell. Holy shit! Enunciated Benjamin. I was the last to see what everyone else was wide-eyed and gawking at. That the tree, in addition to being enormous, had some characteristics that you wouldn't expect a tree to have. Specifically, human body parts, a few arms and legs poking at her end of spots, and right at eye level, a human face.
Kiefer.
Probably. Hey,
no, this is Patrick.
It's funny because you ruined it.
Yes.
Hey, said Marlboro. I know that guy. It's Patrick. He touched Patrick's face and it peeled off and plopped to the ground like a wet Halloween mask. Ugh.
Well, it's
I
no
don't
longer
think he's
Patrick.
going to make it. Benjamin says he pulled something out of his jacket pocket and stuck it into the tree.
What was that? I asked.
Surprisingly, it was Marlboro who answered. That looks like C4 plastic explosives to me.
That looks like a bomb.
I know my explosives.
Well, he
Benjamin
was part of the mathematists.
Chuckled.
Yes.
Well, you win the prize. You win the prize for that one, Rain Man. Yeah, it's the last of
Fucking
my
hell.
explosives. I've been trying to kill this thing piece at a time for the last week, but it just keeps growing back. I have to kill the root system, blow it up, and kill the brain so the rest of the network will die.
Just called him autistic. That was you that put the bomb in the gas station, I said.
Yeah, well, back then I thought the building was the epicenter of this whole thing.
Hey, interrupted Carlos. Jack was still in the building when you planted that.
I know.
Guys? Marlboro tried to get their attention, but it wasn't working.
You knew? He would have died if that thing went off.
Guys?
Look, assholes, this is war, and in war there are always casualties. You can't make peanut butter without smashing a few nuts.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
guys!
What? Screamed Benjamin. I'm a little busy.
Marlboro pointed back the way we came. We all turned to see Spencer standing in the middle of the path, a wicked smile on his face.
Hi, miss me?
Carlos screamed at me. Jack, the gun!
I pulled the weapon out of my pocket and chucked it as hard as I could.
God damn it!
It smacked Spencer right in the face and he fell over. I was very proud for the 2 seconds it took me to realize what I had done wrong. Good job, man. Good job.
What came next almost happened too quickly for me to comprehend. Something burst out of the wall next to us, an enormous object the size of a car and mostly hand-shaped. It wrapped its giant fingers around the other tree and pulled them into the wall, and then I was falling. The earth had opened up below me and I was sliding through a dark tunnel. No, I was being pulled, more like swallowed, really. It went for a while, dirt filling my nose and ears and mouth, and then whatever it was spat me out into the pitch-black room and onto a rocky, wet piece of ground. I landed on my bad leg and probably broke it again.
Probably. Also, it didn't grab the other tree, it grabbed the other 3. Well, I thought, at least I managed to hit Spencer. As far as the last moments on Earth go, this one was a slight improvement over last week.
The room I was in was cool, not cold, and cavernous. I could hear my breath echoing off the walls. I could also hear something else breathing. All at once I became aware of another presence down there, an entity in the room with me. It's hard to explain in the same way I remember it being hard to explain a dream right after you wake up. It's something you have to experience to understand, but the feeling was something like being plugged into a shared consciousness with another intelligence that was putting thoughts directly into my head.
Alright, wait, I thought this guy couldn't sleep.
Well, it was implied that he was able to sleep for a little bit, but then he got the condition like when he graduated college.
Oh.
Well, possibly high school. I
Or
can't remember which.
high school, not college. Sorry.
Anyways, of course, it might have just been all the drugs.
Welcome to my home, said a loud voice from somewhere in the pitch-black room. I'm sorry it's taken so long for us to meet face to face.
I can't see anything.
Yeah, what part of Dark God do you not understand?
Oh shit, I'm in the throne room of a dark god and he sounds like an internet troll. I guess that makes sense. Might as well get this over with.
Do you think you could maybe turn on some lights so I can actually see who I'm talking to?
He let out a very human-sounding sigh and exclaimed, "Fine."
Out of nowhere, the entire room turned into an intense, furious bright white. All I could see was pure light. I covered my eyes, but even then I could see the bones of my hands through my eyelid. Even with the meds, that shit hurt. Tom?
Okay, yeah, sorry, I'd lost my place.
No, miss!
Too bright, too bright! I yelled, split the difference!
Wow, responded the voice. I didn't realize that you were going to be such a big baby.
So are each of us going to just give a different voice for this god?
Yes.
Well, I haven't
Oh,
had
boy.
I haven't had a chance to voice the god yet.
And then, just as suddenly, the brightness relented. After a moment, my pupils adjusted, and I could see what I had been talking to.
Behold! It exclaimed, and tremble before the dark god! To answer your question, yes.
Oh boy. He, if it was a he, I'm just going to go off the sound of his voice, was about the size of an elephant. Swollen and round with a tanned yellow hide, the best animal I could think to compare him with would be an enormous tick, with 6 rows of stubby arms on either side, 6 rows of sagging breast, and a human-sized head on top. The head contained a somewhat human face and no neck, the body connected to the earth at the widest point of its stomach like it was half buried. And to top the whole thing off, he had a red mohawk.
He smiled at me.
What do you think?
About what?
My hair! Isn't it amazing? He looked up at his mohawk.
I guess.
You guess? Do you have any idea how much effort I put into doing my hair like this? You know what? It's fine. I shouldn't have wasted my time trying to impress you. That's on me.
Okay, I said, attempting to push myself to my feet, only to remember that my leg was pretty broken. I was immobilized, underground, high, and without any weapons. I forgot he was
That
high.
That last one's your fault, though.
Which part?
probably
Him
why
getting
he
high
threw
or him
the-
not having weapons?
The weapons.
I mean, that's
think both of
probably
those are
why
his
he
fault.
threw the gun was because he was high. Just saying.
Well, also he's a sleep-deprived idiot, so
That too.
there was really no chance of escape. If you're going to kill me, do you mind just getting it over with?
What is it with you people? So untrusting, so prejudiced. Why is it that any time you see something you don't understand, you think it's kill or be killed? I'm not the monster here. You are. I can see into your soul. I've seen your sins. Remember that time when you were 15 and you keyed the principal's car?
No.
Really? Maybe that wasn't you. Humans all look alike.
Why am I here? Why did you drag me underground?
Because, Jack, I can't find any other way of talking to you, and I want to tell you to stop killing my children! You've burned up so many of us, and what did we ever do to you, huh?
The Kiefer plants?
Yeah, just backups because that idiot is so clumsy. They're harmless, though. I've been trying to put some people in office so I can get a little political influence in this awful town.
To take over the world? I asked, even though I was starting to see where this conversation was going.
No! I want to pressure the city council to cut back on logging, trying to save the world, but you and your awful friends keep killing us and trying to blow me up.
But Spencer, he beat the shit out of me. That guy is awful, and he's following your orders.
Well, excuse me for thinking that people have the potential to be rehabilitated. I hired Spencer because I need someone to protect Kiefer, and I gave him very specific orders not to kill anyone, which he agreed to.
But you've killed tons of people. The cultists, their entire compound.
Yeah, actually, no. I hate to be the one to say this, but those guys killed themselves. Yeah, it was a really sad mass suicide. But if you listen to them, I think it was pretty obvious. You guys should have seen it coming from a mile away. I mean, consequentialism mixed with moral obligation to end suffering. Really?
He waved one of his 6 arms in a jerk-off motion before continuing.
I didn't want to let all those perfectly fully formed bodies go to waste. Even though how hard it is to make one of them from scratch, it's not easy.
But you sent those things after us at the gas station.
Again with the self-centered hero complex. It was never about you. I sent my children to bring Spencer's body back here. I was hoping I could get him home in time to rebuild him without any permanent brain damage. I think next time you see him, you should apologize for what happened. I swear, ever since Romero made zombies cool, people see a dead man come back to life, and instantly they get this urge to kill, kill, kill. Whatever happened to calling this a miracle? Nobody freaked out when Jesus came back.
Are you saying that Jesus was like those mathematists? Just a reanimated corpse?
This is really what you want to talk about, Jack?
But doesn't Dark God mean, like, evil?
He sighed.
The last time I was awake, Dark God had a completely different connotation. But you can't use my branding as your excuse for burning up Kiefer. You ask me, you deserve the ass whooping you got.
But I searched my mind for any proof that the Dark God was the monster I knew him to be. But the only thing I could come up with was a sad, icy cold realization. We're the monsters?
I'm afraid so.
I'm sorry.
Good. That's a start.
So this is it. You're the reason for all the weird stuff going on at the gas station?
He laughed again and wiggled his head, which I took as his version of shaking. No!
Nope. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea. I have no clue what half of those things are. Your gas station is weird, and even I do not know why. The hand plants and Kiefers were me. The smell, I'll fess up, that's me too. But all the other stuff, man, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. You know that weird glowing worm bug thing? That was pretty weird, huh?
So, what do we do now?
Now I send you and your friends back home, and you quit killing me. That's my deal. Can we agree to that?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
Should we shake on it, or...
At that moment, an enormous hand burst out of the wall and wrapped its fingers tightly around me. The next thing I knew, I was coughing up dirt down on all fours in the streets outside of the gas station.
It was morning.
Oh, good, said Benjamin. You made it out too.
I looked over and saw the other three standing there, covered in black dirt. I was back where it started. The trees were all gone, leaving no sign that they were ever even there in the first place. The gas station was a wreck, the front doors were smashed out, and the raccoons were excitedly running a loot train for whatever edibles they could carry from the front to their nest behind back.
All in all, a pretty normal sight.
What happened, man? Asked Carlos.
I'm not really sure, I answered, digging the clumps of dirt out of my nose and ears.
Well, you're lucky. Your friends made me wait a few minutes to give you a chance to get out.
I looked at his hands. They were nearly black from all the layers of dirt coating him.
Wait for what?
For this, Benjamin answered as he pressed the button on his remote detonator.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I forgot about that. Somewhere deep in the woods came an explosion that rocked the earth and sent the birds flying into the sky. Carlos's car alarm went off and the pavement cracked. A black cloud slowly started to fill in the sky, and I felt something inside my mind screaming and die.
Well, said Benjamin, my work here's done. If you don't mind, I'm going to get lost before 5-0 shows up. Then he walked off into the forest, hopefully never to be seen again.
And that's what happened. If you can believe it, I'm back at the gas station. Arnold is on personnel leave from the police force, and I didn't care to ask for details, so we have a new deputy babysitting us. I'll tell you all about her another time, maybe. The police investigated the incident and ultimately concluded that we were victims of hysteria brought on by a gas leak, and once again, there was nothing supernatural to be reported.
I don't know if this is the end for the Dark God, but I do know that I haven't felt any compulsions to continue digging ever since Benjamin blew up that underground tree.
Things are settling back into our brand of normal. I still work way too much. I'm still keeping a journal, and weird things still happen at this shitty gas station at the edge of town. In fact, just yesterday, people started reporting that they had seen something in the forest that looked like an enormous raccoon with bat wings, stealing small animals before flying off into the forest. They even said this winged raccoon monster glows in the dark.
Oh god, Starburst just burst out of the raccoon's body.
Oh god, it was a pilgrim butterfly.
Raccoon-ra! It's like Mothra, but a raccoon.
Marlboro just came up to me and asked, "You know there's a guy in the bathroom dressed like a cowboy?"
Zane?
I assured him that I did not know what. Yeah, I assured him that I did not know that.
Take it from the top!
God damn it. Start over. All over again.
I am Llytic!
I'm Tom.
And I'm Zane, and we're continuing the Spooptober Pastathon.
Boop toaster, fuck!
God damn it.
This may be the last update for a while. It's going to be a lot of work putting this place back together, and I've got a whole new crew of part-timers to train, so until next time.
Jack. And that concludes this.
I guess I should mention that another guy from town is trying his hand at the amateur documentation. But I should warn you, he's got a weird, pulpy detective noir vibe going on. I guess if you're into that kind of thing, you should check him out. And then, Library of Shadows.
There we go.
So, I'm Llytic.
I'm Tom.
And I'm a hand plant.
We'll see y'all next
And
time.
what are we reading? We'll see you next